Hi, how's everybody doing today? This is Anthony from the Basement Reef. And if this is your first time tuning into our channel, we're a retail aquatic pet store and houseplant shop located in Columbia, Missouri. And here on this channel, we talk about all sorts of things related to both aquariums and keeping tropical plants. Today, we're here for an unboxing video for our monthly shipment from Eye-Catching Corals. We get a shipment of coral frags from these guys every month. There's always 50 assorted frags, lots of variety, super awesome, and I love unpacking it. And this month, we even have something extra in the box. And at the end of the video, we're gonna be trying something new. Just for fun, we're gonna rate this shipment compared to our other eye-catching coral shipments. It's just gonna be a simple 3, 4, or 5-star rating. And again, this isn't comparing eye-catching coral to any other wholesalers in the industry. This is just comparing them to themselves. We'll go over that rating system when it's time to rate it. Until then, let's just get to opening these corals.
The first thing we always do is make sure that everything arrived and everything looks all right. Unfortunately, this time there is a problem. That extra bag of corals I ordered isn't here, but Eye-Catching was quick to assure us they'll overnight to us, and we'll do a video when it gets here. Now, as we unpack this, there's a few named corals we're going to be looking for that are supposed to be here. There's an electric lemonade anacropora from Tidal Gardens, an Aquaman monipora from Jason Fox, a love-struck cyphastria from Eye-Catching Corals, and a flamboy favia. These are all really nice named corals, so let's keep our eye out for them. Now let's take a look at every single frag that we got. First up is some sort of zoanthid. We'll have to let it open up to really see what it looks like. Next up appears to be a blastomusa. Same here, he's a little closed up. Now this is a microfavia and absolutely beautiful. I've gotten one just like it from Eye-Catching before, and it's one of my favorite corals I've ever gotten from them, so I'm excited to see it again. This is a monipora. I don't think it's the Aquaman mani that we're looking for, but it could be. Next up is this orange and purple micromusa lord. And after that, a fairly unique little discosoma mushroom, kind of a bluish green with a gold rim. This here is one of my favorite soft corals, Vargas suspicularia. You don't see it too often, so I'm stoked that it's in this pack. I'm really excited to show you what it looks like once it opens up more. And this, I'm honestly not sure about. Some sort of little LPS for sure, but as far as the exact species, maybe one of you guys can educate me. This here looks to be a goniapora. It'll need some time to settle in and open up as well. Here we have a really bright red discosoma mushroom. This coral is probably what you'd call a John Deere leptastria. It's like an orange leptastria, but it has more green in between the polyps. This is a nice little blastomusa, just kind of the classic color that you usually see. This one is a sun coral. They're non-photosynthetic. They have a polyp that opens up, but it takes some time to get them to come out. They're a labor-intensive coral, but very cool. This next one is also a sun coral, but it's a black variety. They have a black skeleton and kind of a green polyp. This is really a neat curiosity. You don't see the black ones often at all. Another really cool thing in this pack. This appears to be the first of the named corals advertised in this pack. I think it's the Eye-Catching Corals love-struck cyphastria. We'll have to get a nice macro shot of it later to really show it off. And here's some more little micromusas. They're orange and purple, but a little bit different pattern from the first one. This appears to be a little hammer coral. This is a Leptoceres. It's a named variety I've come across before, but the name eludes me at the moment. Very, very cool one though, and this is one of the larger, more well-encrusted frags that I've seen of it. This little guy isn't open at all, but I think it's going to be an Alveopora. We'll have to check back in later to be sure. This bright green LPS is not exactly one that I can identify 100%, but if I had to guess, I'd say a Goniastria. This is a really nice little stunner style chalice. Really good color on that one. Here's another little chalice, or possibly Cyphastria. We'll have to see what this one is exactly when it settles in more. This orange Rhodactus is pretty nice too. Lots of intricate little patterns on him. We'll be sure to get a macro shot before the end of the video. Some more zoanthids. This is a nice little blue Discosoma mushroom. If you have white lights over your tank especially, these guys look awesome. After that, some more zoanthids. Like the rest, we'll have to check what they look like once they open up. And here we have a Platygyra, or brain coral. This one has some pretty cool toxic green highlights. This is a Blastomusa merletti. It's a smaller version of Blastomusa. This looks to be a small pagoda cup coral. We'll have to see for sure once those polyps extend. Here's a nice little chalice. Next up, we have some purple Discosoma mushrooms with blue stripes. I'm partial to these corals because they remind me a lot of a disco that I had when I first started reef keeping. Here's probably another Alveopora. This one's a green encrusting coral of some variety. Possibly a Samacora, or maybe some sort of scroll coral. There's really no way to say for sure until this thing grows out a little further. And here we have a nice pink Millipora. Here's even more Micromusa lords. These ones are really neat. I've never seen quite that color before. It's kind of like a teal and green. This is also something that I can't really identify off the top of my head. Obviously an LPS, but exactly what it is, I'm not too sure. And here's some more lords. This is a lord heavy pack, but I'm not upset about that. They're always really popular and good sellers. This coral here is a Pavona. They're one of the easiest SPS to grow, and they have a metallic shine to them that's really unlike anything else. If you don't have this in your tank, I recommend giving it a shot. Here we have a Galaxia. It actually looks pretty neat here, with a purple skeleton almost, and some green polyps. I'm excited to see what it looks like when it settles in. And here we have some more zoanthids. Once again, impossible to say what they're going to look like yet. Here are some really nice, really bright orange Micromusa lords. And this is the next of the advertised corals in the pack. That's the Eye-Catching Corals 24K Lepto series. This is probably either a Microphavia or a Micromusa, something along those lines, but it's really attractive. Same here. I can't give you the exact species, but some sort of really nice little LPS. Here we have a war coral. This appears to be a little Duncan, although it's hard to say because it's not open. This is a really nice deep water chalice. That's something that eye catching is good for in almost every one of these packs. I don't know that I've gotten one that doesn't have a cool deep water chalice in it. And here we finally have the Flamboy Favia. This is the brightest coral in the pack and the one that I was really excited to get. That's for sure the winner of this whole pack. This, I think, is finally the Jason Fox Aquaman Monipora. And that would make this the Tidal Gardens Electric Lemonade and Acropora. It's really cool to see some named corals in these packs. I'm excited about that. Now that our corals have had a full day to settle in, we can check in on some of the ones that weren't all the way open before. We can tell that this one is definitely an Alveopora now. If you don't know about them, they're like a much easier to keep cousin to Gonioporas. This one I think is a Goni, but might be an Alveopora. The difference is in the number of petals on the tentacles, but I'm not a pro at it. This one, however, is definitely a Goniopora, and it's a stunner. It's one of my favorite pieces of this whole pack. What doesn't come through in the video is it has an almost metallic look to it. And here's that Suspicularia. This is that Lovestruck Cyphastria. Pretty cool little piece. Looking at our zoanthids, I'm pretty happy with what we see. We have some purple and greens, some nice red ones. And next to that, we have the Pagoda Cup Coral. That's what I thought it was, and now that it's open, I'm sure about it. Here's that Galaxia. It's really cool with the green and the purple. And here's some nice little zoanthids with the yellow center. Kinda unique. These, though, are probably the one Zoa in the pack that I'm not too happy with. That happens, though. There's 50 corals here. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's time to rate this pack as a whole. We're not comparing eye-catching corals to anybody else. We're just doing this for fun. So, our rating scale is going to start at 3 stars and go up to 5. I'm really excited about how there were some named corals in here, and there's not that many that I was unhappy with. Although, I think we're lacking some big money pieces like that torch from last month. So, overall, I'm gonna give this one 4 stars out of 5. We're really excited to keep doing this feature here on the channel, and see what Eye Catching sends us next month. Maybe they'll give us what we think is a 5-star box. Now, hopefully tomorrow, the missing stuff from this shipment will get here, and we'll get that video all together for you too. I'm excited to show you what was supposed to be in here. Things happen sometimes, so I'm not that upset that it was missing. Eye Catching was quick to make it right, and that's great to see. Anyways, hopefully this video was entertaining. It was a lot of corals, but I think it was neat to see this variety. As always, this is Anthony from the Basement Reef, and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.